parietal lobe. Back here is the occipital lobe, and down here is the temporal lobe. How many is that? 4 on each side, but there's one more on each side. It's hidden down inside this lateral sulcus, which you can retract from the 2 sides with retractors. And down inside, there it is. Who is that? That's insula. Insula. So we have frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and insula on each side. Both sides have this. And I wish they hadn't done this, but this says gyri of insula. Well, of course, there are gyri there. But then people say, oh, that's gyri of insula. And it confuses them. Okay. It's simply the insula, and yeah, it has gyri. So I wish they would have said gyri, it just said insula.
What was the guidance on it?
Gyri.
And the cerebellum is not part of what we're talking about?
This is one part of the brain, it's the cerebrum. This is the cerebellum. There's more to it than just that, too. See this down here? This is the brain stem. And you say brain stem. It's kind of like, is that brain? Yeah, it is. It's actually brain. Okay? So we're finding different parts of brain here. Okay? Cerebrum, cerebellum, brain stem, and there's more than that. Okay?
Is the stem covered by something? I'm sure probably.
It's kind of covered by all this stuff. The cerebrum is massive. It spreads out over everything else quite a bit. Okay? Yes?
When does it stop being a stem and begins?
There are different parts to the brain stem. Okay? And we're going to look at that. I can show you that right now. And the color code. Don't you like color code?
Yes.
Yes, we like color code, especially with brain. Why isn't this pretty? These purple eggs here, purple eggs. That's Diane. I'd like to introduce you to Diane. Diane's a really nice young lady, Diane. This is Diane cephalus. It's not spelled the same way, but it works for a memory device. And of course, Diane's favorite color is purple. So everything purple here is Diane. Purple. Okay. Diane cephalon. Okay. Well, how does this all fit in? This is, Diane is not brainstem, but everything below Diane is. So this is brainstem here. We have midbrain, we have pons, and we have medulla oblongata. Then you have spinal cord. So that's all brain down to spinal cord.
Is the spinal cord part of the brainstem?
No. Brainstem comes down to spinal cord, and the part that does that is medulla oblongata.
That's like the transition point?
Well, that's actually brainstem. So this is brainstem, 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 the 3 parts of brainstem, and they come down and then fade into the spinal cord. So diencephalon, interesting. Well, look up here, this massive cerebrum, all over top of this. There's Diane, top of Diane here. That's in here ghosted to show you where it belongs, but it's ghosted. Okay? The green is brainstem. Brainstem's the green part. So you got nerves coming out of here or coming in, it can be both. So I went to show you brainstem, which you asked. What if, this is page 440, what if we cut down through that longitudinal fissure and took the 2 halves of the brain and split them apart? One of them would look like this, where you cut right down, okay? You split it into 2 hemispheres, right? Have you heard somebody saying, I'm more left brain than right brain? Yeah, because the left brain tends to be more analytical, scientific type thing. The right tends to be more creative, music, art, things like that, okay? So that tends to be, it doesn't mean 100%. So we've got that with brain. Brain is so interesting, and it isn't nicely colored like this, so you have to know your way around and what should be where. This is the Q-tip. See the Q-tip? Who is it?
The olfactory.
Olfactory bulb, which means
Nose, smell.
smell. So this is smell. Smell's important. And then this sideways ear is white because, why is it white? It's covered in myelin, very good. So it's myelinated axons, because that's all that ever gets myelinated, is the axons. So these are myelinated axons. What did you just do to them? You cut right down through them. This is not normal. It's not supposed to be cut down through there, but you did. Okay? Myelinated axons, which are coming from one side to the other. And those are the phone lines between the two hemispheres. So if you cut them, they're disconnected phone calls. You can't make the phone calls anymore. Okay? So that's interesting. And look, here's another sulcus, calcarine sulcus. What's in the back of your cerebrum? Occipital lobe. What's it known for? Visual. Is it, that's where visual processing is going. Where are the eyes? They're up here. So the information comes back here and you process it. Could you damage the back of your head and go blind? Yes, you can. I know of somebody who had surgery done and an operation came out blind. And I'm not sure what was done. I didn't know that well, but that was a shock. Can you imagine coming out of a surgery and now you can't see? Very upsetting.
What was the importance of the calcarine sulcus?
Vision. Your primary visual cortex is back here. Now, we know with the adrenal gland, the outside is the adrenal,
Medulla.
no,
Cortex.
cortex. The center is the adrenal, medulla. But you don't have a cerebral medulla. You do have a cerebral cortex, the outer part. The outer 1/8 inch thick cerebral cortex is not very thick, but that's really, really important, okay? So you have a cerebral cortex, but you do not have a cerebral medulla. So we just wanted to get a taste of this today, and we'll be back to this probably on Thursday.
What was, did we go over, are we not doing diencephalon just yet?
I was just introducing it to you, that was it. So the outside is the cerebrum. The outer part of that is the cerebral cortex. In fact, I'll show it to you right here. See this outer part? This is the cerebral cortex. What do you notice? It's composed of cell bodies. This is gray matter, even though they color it brown. It's neuron cell bodies out here. So what's the white stuff? Myelinated axons from the neuron cell bodies coming down through here. That's true. Okay. Who's back in here? You would have to use retractors to see.
Insula.
Insula. So insula's back in here. Okay?
So the cerebral cortex is like an outer covering
It's
to
an
the cerebrum.
outer edge, yeah, just the edge out here. It's only about an 1/8 inch thick. You think it'd be thicker than that, but it's not, but it's really important. Those are the neuron cell bodies out here, and these are their myelinated axons that die down in here. And there are spaces in the brain, those are called ventricles. Ventricles. We'll get into more of that when we look at this later. Here they ghosted in blue, ventricles. See all the ventricles? What flows through there?
Cerebral spinal fluid.
Cerebral spinal fluid, who moves it? Cilion ependymal cells, right. Good. Okay. This even goes down into the spinal cord. And then it comes back up again. So that'll be interesting to talk about. All right, what else is interesting to talk about? Lab 6. That's interesting to talk about, isn't it? Did you finish your Lab 6s? No. Well, we want to get at that. Lab 6 was microscope work, so we're going to do that. How many people do we have? 2, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If I did it right, that's 10 groups of 2. So what you need is a microscope. And don't do much with it, just bring it out for your group, and then we'll go from there.